Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Greetings from Pride Mountain. I'm Slidewhistle.
'Tis I, Immunization. Hello.
It's me, Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag. I'm the straight guy at the Chapel Roan Show, Chapel Roan Show. I have G-O-T-T-O, enter
you're
this
embarrassing
episode.
yourself in Pride Month right now. How dare you? Also, where is Pride Mountain in the DNR lore map? Is it next to Ham City or?
Oh, it's way above Ham City. Come on, it's a mountain. Ham City's, it's low. It's Ham. Ham can't be high.
Ham City exists solely in the shadow of Pride Mountain.
It's true.
When the sun shines on Pride Mountain, Ham City experiences 30 days of darkness.
Ooh. Okay, I need you to think of a drag race theme, like an outfit theme. Ready? Do you have one? What is it? Say it.
Funko Pop Couture.
Okay, so since we're on the topic of mountains, you need to construct an outfit based on your favorite mountain, fictional or real. I don't care.
Okay. We can make that work for a Pride contest. I guess make transmogs off of that.
Okay.
Farmer. That's mine.
Farmer.
So those are the three different runways that the DNR Army can choose from.
No, just two. I don't like thinking about Funko Pops. Don't remind me of them. So, tell you what, Pride Mountain has shot out of the earth. Give us an outfit that you would arrive to Pride Mountain wearing. That can be prideful stuff. That could be mountaineering gear. You could be a resident of Ham City living in the 30 days of night.
Yes, the perfect. Everything Aaron just said. Because we're going to do another Pride of Proudmoore giveaway for everybody, not just the gays and theys. And I've been thinking about prizes, right? So as usual, the Pride merch on Battle.net shop is not the best. I don't know who wants to wear a giant Blizzard logo on their chest. So I was
about to say, not to make a pun of it being Pride Month, but the merch sucks and blows. It is bad.
Like I don't know, it's so logo centric. Like I get it, but so I was thinking, I don't know, 3 people maybe. We'll do 3 prizes, and we'll just do you could get a $30 shirt or anything $30 on the store. Or if you choose to go the other route, I will give you 250k gold so you can go buy the Whizbang toy from Dalaran. The Pride Rainbow toy can be yours, but I will stand next to you and I will make sure that you're spending that money on the toy. Don't buy some goodies with it.
You can't just pocket it and turn it back into money through weird RMT. You need to be gay. We're going to hold you down like it's Fallout 1 and dip you in the gay vats.
We are going to hold your hand as you make a macro with whatever movement ability you have that uses this.
So put on your breast Pride Mountain outfit and win either a $30 item from the store or 250k gold for the Prismatic Bauble toy. Terms and conditions apply.
We have never had a more loosely defined but bigger contest than this. Some say it is the tip top, the summit of Pride Mountain itself pales in comparison to 2024's Pride giveaway.
Yeah, I'm very happy about this one. As usual, you can take your screenshots and send them to us however you want, whether that be our email at donotrelentpod@gmail.com, or honestly any of the links that you arrive by going to donotrelent.com, whether that be our Discord. We will be making a channel in there where you can post screenshots there. That's usually where most people end up submitting theirs. But yeah, email them, send it, however you get us a picture. We will enter it into this contest.
Call me on your cell phone and describe it to me like you're a 90s sex worker. That works too.
Wow, I might do that one. That could be my entry.
I'll be like, hey, Slidewhistle, what's going on? You haven't called me in forever. And you'll just be like, later, Hosen, big hat. And I'm like, oh, he's just describing the outfit. Okay. And I'll be like, honey, can you get me my notepad that I have by our bedside specifically for this purpose?
Write that shit down. But yeah, so what? That's pretty big news. What else we got? Beta has started. You know, it's beta. Things are betaing. Things are breaking.
More like beta for Azeroth, am I right?
I have not yet dove into it. I installed it so I can at some point. So who all got this added to their...
Were the two of you chosen, or is this because you have the advanced edition?
Yeah, the advanced edition is the reason I got it.
Yeah, I don't know which pre-order... What pre-order gave this to you? Was it just the biggest one? I mean, like, I don't remember which one I bought. I guess that's the one I bought at some point. But as I said, I haven't dove into it yet. I know, Slide, you have spent a little time in there, and you said that like it was hard to even get in, and there were some troubles at first.
Yeah, I mean, it was launch day, right? So everything was gonna be breaking. Everyone's logging in at once. Their servers were interesting because it's Illyria and Khadgar, named after our little cats who are here fighting over a tower right now. And then there's another server that's called This One Goes to 11. And I'm not really sure. I think it's
called This One Goes to 11?
Yes, that's the name of the server. And I think it's specifically for max level something. I think it's like a training dummy simulator. I don't really know. Maybe it's to test hero talents on dummies is probably what it's for. But it's weird. I'm only in Stormwind. I don't think I can leave on that realm. I'm not sure. I wasn't in that server for long.
When are we combining them? When are we getting Area 52 - This One Goes to 11?
I mean, the War Within could bring it. It's possible.
That's true. So, what of the war within yourself did you engage in? I see there was a number of pictures here from what looks to be the earthen starting area.
Yeah, so I really only have done the earthen starting stuff, just because I was curious, like, what their whole deal was. It was kind of cool making an earthen, because, we didn't get to see it at BlizzCon like we normally do. So you really get to customize how many jewels and gems you're sticking into your rock body. You can have, like, asymmetrical shoulder gems, and you can put, like, thigh stones and knee stones in. It's kind of weird.
No, is this just from the character creator, or is this based on the primary interface dialogue that you have posted here?
Oh, that's just from the character creator. So the dialogue that I posted. So basically, like, the whole story of the Earthen, I'm pretty sure it seems like they all were just, they're made by a Titan construct computer. And so their fates are, like, chosen for them. They don't get a say in them. And so this is kind of the system that, like, was choosing where to place you. It's almost like a sorting hat, but, like, kind of nefarious.
So, like, what comes of this then? Like, because I see, like, you answer like 3 or 4 questions, it looks like, and then what happens?
So a lot of it, I'm assuming, will be added. It was silent, right? There was only the audio of, like, earthen dwarfs walking around, and, like, there was some voice acting, but it was just kind of like, I'm not really sure, mostly because for a lot of the options, I choose to omit an answer because I was curious what it was going to do if I just said, nah, I don't know.
You are indecisive. You are no better than the rocks that surround you. And just your character crumbles and it's like, sorry, I guess start again. Be more adventurous next time.
So, like, I think it was trying to give me clothes because I was a nudie, I was a little nudie earthen walking around. And this first option, it's like, verify your original assigned designation. I was a stonebound workhand, sworn to my craft. I was a worker of the deeps. I was a peacekeeper. I was an artisan of Dornagal. I pressed choose to omit an answer. And then it got, like, mad at me and was like, well, where are you going? Or, like, where were you? And I didn't turn to that one, but I was like, I was in the rookery, whatever the hell that is. I don't fucking know. And when I picked that one, it, like, beamed clothes onto my body. So I think it's trying to figure out where to place me, basically.
What were the clothes that it beamed onto you like?
Like plate, like some plate, and like a big plate helmet and some big plate shoulder. It's just like golden plate. It was pretty.
Because I'm pretty sure the rookery is, I think it's the first dungeon that you end up doing, and I think it's where they train the storm griffins, I think.
And that makes sense, because I would later learn that the earthen were not trained to fight. because they never had a reason to fight, and they were like, except for the Storm Griffin people. So I guess I chose the one fighting outfit. But yeah, so I just kind of looked at these options, and I guess I had to reprogram the machine, is what the Dwarven lady was telling me. Their voices are they're weird. Like, they almost
Don't they have like a filter over them? Like, it sounds like metal scrapings,
Like metronome
imitating...
type filter? Is
Yeah.
that the deal?
It's like it's not as strong as I thought it would be, which is probably on purpose because it would sound grating and awful. But it almost sounded like it wasn't
just
enough.
load it and it's like, it's like, oh, God, fuck, I'm not doing that. It's like, oh, not a single person has spent more than 2 seconds on their earthen.
I feel like they should crank up the filter just a little bit. It almost sounded like a regular dwarf that was speaking slower and more deliberate, which, I mean, makes sense, right? They're earthen. It's kind of, their whole thing is almost just like they're trying to... It reminds me of when you're leaving the vault in Fallout for the first time. It's kind of like they're like getting you ready for like your leaving day or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's called awakening protocols, and so they like had to like make the machine reprogrammed to not just like auto assign you places and they give you options. So it's all new to the Earthen too. Is like, you know, they're like, oh, we don't know what the hell, we never really leave this place. So it was pretty short. It wasn't that long. It was longer than the Dark Iron Dwarf intro, and it was giving me that same kind of vibe, like the area of the Dark Iron Dwarf, but like way more fleshed out. You know, they had the anvil and stuff in the middle, but there was more things like moving around.
Did you get to make your decision as far as which faction to pick? Because I know they said that it's even less impactful than in previous, like, vague middle of the road races.
Yeah, so like you choose it at the start when you make your character, and then once you do that, like at the end of your awakening protocol or whatever that's what it's called, there's 2 portals, and they're like, okay, go to the embassy, like every other race. So you just show up at the embassy, and the dude is like, oh, the Stormhammers told me you were coming.
Wait, can they be Horde?
Yes, they can be both.
Yes, that's why most people refer to them as Horde Dwarves. It is not that they are a middle of the road race. It's, oh boy, we finally get dwarves, the nasties say. But yeah,
Wow.
there's no like, oh, see what the Tushy versus the Hui Gen lifestyle is like. It's like the dragons, where it's just like, just pick one.
This makes me like even more upset that the Nightborn just were sent to the Horde then.
Yeah, it was just a product of trying to create a dichotomy. I'm sure if we did Legion now, they would just be like, oh yeah, just everyone gets it. They're just like they should have been. Like, they're just so appreciative that for everyone to help that they just go wherever they want to go now.
Well, the Nightborn pay for it by looking ugly as fuck with their customization options.
Terrible. Every Nightborn I've ever seen is bald-headed, and it's like, no! All of our lovely locks fell off as soon as we signed up with the Horde.
The Earthen customization was great. Like, they look sick as fuck. I'm like, what am I where do I fit an Earthen into my rotation?
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you think they're just gonna end up being like better or like more preferred Dark Iron Dwarves?
I don't know. It's really hard to say because they're kind of monstrous. Like, there might be a certain point where you're tired of looking like a weird colored like weirdo. Like,
also, I believe they're bigger. Not that that matters, but I think they are physically larger than your standard dwarf. So, like, not to say like, oh, RP reasons, I gotta play a little guy, but like, it's not just a new skin over a dwarf model, even though that's what it is. It's like they do physically look different.
So they like scaled up the dwarf model a little bit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like it strikes me as less of like a blood elf to void elf thing and like a gnome to mecha-gnome thing, where it's like, yes, this is going to be very similar, but they took a lot of stakes to be like, oh no, this is a visibly similar people, but a distinct race.
yeah, they look pretty bulky. Not gonna lie.
Did you slap a beard on a lady?
Oh no, I forgot I could do that. I just made a male.
I'm sorry, on a body too.
No, I just made a male and just went with it from there. I didn't even look at the body 2 options. Body, yada, yada, too.
Yes, because that is, I'm not going to grandstand for them, but they have shown that off. If you can have a body too that features facial hair, because the Earthen are just like, we're literally just rock people. We do not exist under any sort of gender norms.
They were like born underground, and they literally do not know gender norms or constructs.
That's like old school dwarf like history, right? Like fantasy dwarfs, ladies have beards.
Yeah, that's like way old thing to be like your dad's friend Jim would tell you about that, about D&D. Like, did you know lady dwarves can have beards?
So, can they, well, what, like, classes can the Earthen be? Is it the same, like, as a normal dwarf?
You know, I wish I took a screenshot of that. It is pretty similar. The paladin, warrior, monk. I don't know the things they can't be. I don't actually remember that.
The shaman, I assume?
Can be everything
Can be shamans.
other than, like, DK, and that's it, I thought.
Earthen, yeah, I think that's it. No.
I'm sorry, Demon Hunters. I saw a thing, they cannot be Death Knights.
I think there was something else they can't be. I think there was more than 2 grayed out areas. But yeah, I saw that too, that they can't be Death Knights. It's kind of crazy, but it makes sense.
I guess because they're
underground when all that happened, I guess.
yeah. There is zero as loose of an explanation as there have been for the new Death Knight races. There's even less for them. It's like, no, the Four Horsemen did not see you. You are seeing the outside world for the first time now.
I wonder if they could be rogues. I don't know why that feels so weird to me, like an Earthen rogue. This fucking doesn't make any sense. But I was messing around with one of their racial abilities, called Azurite Surge, and it's super weird. There's not really anything like this. So it's an empowered spell, you know, like evokers have. But when evokers empower, it just powers up the spell. When you empower with Azurite Surge, it changes what the spell does based on the level. So level 1 does fire damage, level 2 will heal an ally, and level 3 will deal 48 additional fire damage to the highest health enemy. So they're all just like different affixes that it does on a 2-minute cooldown.
That's very odd, honestly. I don't know how I would end up trying to use that.
You know, I've actually never even asked Evoker main that you are/were Slide. Did you fuck around with empowered spells much?
Yeah.
The posthumous, now that Dragonflight is in its twilight years, was that something that you got used to that you would do?
I like empowered spells a lot. I also enabled the setting to, because there's 2.
You didn't have to hold it?
Yes. I enabled the I don't have to hold it setting. And that made it a lot better, because sometimes I would accidentally let it go. However, sometimes I press it twice by accident, and then that fires off the early spell. So it's fuck offable either way. But I think it is a good addition to the game. I think it's going to be a little hard for people who aren't used to it to use this ability efficiently. But it's a racial. Like, how racials usually aren't that good. I don't know. Will it be good? Who knows? Because, like, the numbers I'm seeing, it's like heals ally for 64, like, because I'm level 10, right? So I don't have a grasp on what these numbers are going to look like at 80.
Also, apologies, because I've hardly ever fucked around with the dragon. These happen simultaneously, correct? So if you charge it to level 3, all these things happen? Because
don't know.
1 is a damaging ability, 3 is a damaging ability. If you're trying to use this thing as to heal, now you very specifically have to time it out. I can see people getting mad about that.
That's kind of the way that I took it when I was reading this, but I guess I didn't have any allies to heal when I was using the damage component, right? So I don't take any damage. So maybe it does do that. That would make a lot more sense, but I don't know why I feel like it doesn't. Time will tell.
You said time in a funny voice, and I got really scared. but then also I was like, "That's not yours to do."
I mean,
it's 1 week after, so I remember that Immune has it.
I almost clearly said that, like, I am leaving it open ended in case any of you guys would like to steal it. I mean, like, oh no, please don't steal my time warp.
Oh no,
whatever will I do?
So hard fought.
But were you able to dive into or see anything else interesting in the beta? Oh, actually, like let's talk about the spellbook and talent changes that you found.
Oh my god, they're beautiful. So I was on this server goes to 11 or whatever the fuck it's called, and I was like, where the fuck is my spellbook? Because so on your little mini taskbar in the corner, you know, where you go to like your map and like instances and collections, I was like, it's missing. The talent, it's not here. Like there wasn't the little what is it? Like the little, was it the arrow? Little quiver?
For
Honestly,
talents,
I don't
isn't
remember.
it a book?
That's spellbook,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, the book,
Spell. I'm sorry. Once again, I see these things a million times a day, but I don't. It's been so long, I don't think about them anymore. But yes,
I also normally just press the hotkey instead of like clicking on it. So like I don't.
I can't be bothered. I don't know any of those hotkeys for those ones. I'm a clicker by nature.
I changed all my hotkeys, so they're all gone. So yeah, the book was missing.
Spellbook is a book, but the target. It's like a target.
I was gonna say, is it like a bullseye? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a bullseye. That's your talent one.
So the book was gone, and I was like, where the fuck's the book at? And someone in chat was complaining about it, and so then I was like, oh, it's funny. I did know that hotkey was N for the talent. So I pressed N for talents, and when it opened, I saw on the bottom corner, there was a spellbook tab that they added to talents. So now you have to get to your book through talents, which is super weird. And I opened it, and it's beautiful. They were saying that it's subject to change, obviously, because the game's not out yet. But now instead of having to press that little arrow key and flip through like all these little subsections, like 5 subsections, 4 subsections, it's now basically just plastered on 2 to 3 pages. All your buttons are super close together. A lot of room to read them. Fills your whole screen up. It's beautiful.
Did that include the generic ones like wanding for a mage or guild bank? Is this in that book? Because it was before, or did that get moved somewhere else?
Yeah, so it's still there. In a picture that I posted, so it does still have. It has 2 tabs. So it was a warrior tab at the top, and then next to it is a general tab, where everything else is gonna go. So I guess really it is like 4 pages, maybe 5 pages with general, but down from what? Fucking 11, 12?
It was too many pages, and it was like too small. And I feel like this is just good. There's also a button to hide passives, because like you won't ever have to add a passive to your bar, so that's nice.
Yeah, hiding passives is huge. You press that button, and I feel like you get like 10 buttons left.
That reminds me, today I start on Pandaria Remix, I started a warrior, and she started with auto attack as a button. I was like, what is that for? Who is that for?
I had that on my bars for so long as a paladin in WoD, that before I realized I don't need that.
I remember you very specifically, you said, because I want to say, I was like, what is that button? Because I hadn't seen it, and it was auto attack, and I was like, what? And you're like, I have it because if I physically press it, it's faster than just depending on the game to auto attack. And I was like, this guy's cooking something. I don't know what, but he's cooking.
So weird. It's so weird that they even let you do that. I lost my thought.
Well, maybe it was in the... Do we want to talk about the multiple short stories they have since released?
Yeah, collectively we've read 2 of them, right? How many have been released so far?
3. And I can't, if you are desperate, the Illyria story is old at this point.
Oh, wait. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Before you reminded me by saying Illyria, before the cinematic, the one that dropped like 3 days ago.
Oh yeah. Fuck these
Fuck
stories.
The stories for now.
These short stories are giving distinct second half of the show energy. We're still in the first half. I want to talk about the fact that they released a new trailer for the announcement of the beta. It's like, hey, beta's here. Here's a cool little teaser.
It's called Shadow and Fury, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's it's got Xalatath doing her big baddie energy things.
I actually don't think I've seen this one.
You have. You've definitely watched it.
Clearly, someone does not look at the things that Aaron posts into the Do Not Relent Discord, because I did goofer on it.
What?
But
Why
yes,
am I supposed
it
to
features...
GameSpot trailers link? What the hell is that?
I will say, so I'm actively watching it now. The Illyria costume that I did not really enjoy as of last week feels better in motion. It feels more natural when I see her moving around with it.
When I first saw Illyria, I didn't know it was Illyria. I was like, who the fuck is this? Who's this elf lady I'm looking at?
Also, and this is me semi-reacting live, we get a Magni mention. And I knew nothing about the fact of him showing up in TWW, which makes sense because we're going within the planet. So he's a man who's made out of planet. But I was like, oh yeah, Magni, he's back. I like that.
He's about to fucking add to his kingdom. Like, he gave up being, like,
Oh,
the dwarves.
I mean, yeah.
But, like, the earthen, he is basically half earthen now, right?
I was about to say, yeah, you figure being a dwarf who's made out of earth, he's like, these are my guys. I wonder, now this has got me thinking, do you think he's going to, Gelbin Mekatork, he's going to manifest destiny these guys?
Oh, God.
Will we take out the earthen leader, and then it's like, well, I am a dwarf and I'm made out of rock, so... And we install one of our guys in to be their leader.
You know what I would love? He was like, yeah, I was hearing Azeroth. And they're like, no, that was me cousin. That was us.
That was James.
Oh, it's getting pretty toasty in here at the Rookery. Can you guys do something to cool it off?
He's like, we gotta move the icebergs to this specific spot. Why, Magni? Why are we doing that? The planet told me.
Oh, thanks, Magni. It's a lot cooler now.
Wait, so did you watch the video for the first time, Immune? Did you not seen this?
I was about to say, I assume Slide and I were riffing over you watching this thing for the first time.
Yeah, I just finished it, and no, I had not seen this.
So what'd you think watching it with us talking over it? Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm sure it only heightened the experience.
Oh, I mean, like, I watched it on mute and read subtitles. My interpretation is that, I mean, because, like, it'd just be way too noisy for me to listen to you guys and it at the same time. But, like, basically my
Thank
interpretation...
you for not muting us, for, in fact, missing out on the content because you wanted to hear us do jokes.
This is my favorite part of the week. Anyways, my interpretation, half listening, I mean, only watching it and reading subtitles, was that basically it was Xal'atath talking mad shit on all of the main characters going into the War Within, being Illyria, Jaina, Anduin, Thrall, and
Magni, the one we were doing goofs about.
Right, exactly. And basically, like, saying why all of them are struggling and about how it's making them angry and their fury will drive her to whatever her goal is.
Move over, Kendrick Lamar. Xal'atath just dropped the biggest diss track of the year.
She wrote Thrall's ineptitude into the stars. She threw a couple stars up there to be like, look, it's the shape of you not being able to do element magic
so
anymore.
Cool. I mean, like, the juxtaposition of that really cool graphic, like, right after... It's really weird. Like, it felt like 2007 WoW Machinima of, like, the elements in the background and it looked like black and them fading.
I feel like, what's her name? Charm? Charm made this one, you know? She was really out there working hard.
Yeah, I know, but, like, I like this. I like how they really are making Xal'atath that bitch. Like, she is the big bad, and like we don't even know that like we'll even see her in the War Within or like really interact with her, because like I assume she's going to be an overarching villain for maybe the next few expansions even.
Yeah, she's definitely giving me like Nana Boo Boo, like catch me, and then she'll empower a guy, we'll defeat them at the end of TWW, and it's like you don't even know the machinations that I was laying into midnight.
Yeah, she'll be like, meet me at midnight, the expansion.
Hey, you know, our boy, Daddy Zoval, the jailer, what's his other name? Not the Rune Carver. He had another name, didn't he, on the title? He warned us.
Well, he was the arbiter for a bit.
He said, something worse is coming, or whatever he said. And he wasn't wrong. She's spooky.
And it's funny, I hate that literally just delaying it one expansion makes it more palatable to me. Like, it's like, if we face something stronger than him next expansion, I'll hate that. But like the end boss was Fyrakk. It's like, okay, he was a loser. And then he's like, no, here it is now. And I'm like, Masterful storytelling. We did it. We did it, everyone.
Another thing that really lends into the two teams theory. But you're
Because
right.
I'm looking past whatever's gonna happen in a bit here. Have fun with the daycare. Ooh.
You're right, though. Was Dragonflight like the palate cleanser expansion to like bring us down a little bit?
Yeah, it was the ginger.
It really is. It's things were increasing in intensity, and then you got a big bag of Lay's potato chips where it's like, are you super excited about literally anything that's happening? No. But do you have a large amount of it? Yes. And so now we can move on to a better meal.
Munch, munch, crunch, crunch. Thanks, Zozo. That's why you are our
Thanks,
sexiest
Zozo.
NPC of the week that one time. We made you that.
Before we even saw him, I think.
I was saying, did we ever make bald-headed Zozo the sexiest?
Oh yeah,
No,
because like
we
I
made the
think we,
concept of him.
the concept one, which ended up being like the rune carver, right? Kind
And
of.
now it's
Yeah.
time for this week's sexiest NPC of the week.
I guarantee not a single one of you would have thought that we were naming Zoval, the jailer, that we actually know.
Now we're talking. Are we gonna talk? Is he gonna be in his armored getup, or is he gonna be in the thighs out?
Not at all. Not at all. I didn't know what the two of you were thinking, but we are talking distinctly about nothing but his pride and joy in a little loincloth, Zovi.
Yeah, that's the only Zozo for me.
I want distinct December 3rd, 2022 Zoval.
You know, I don't care what he's wearing as long as that giant chest cavity is ready to go.
I took a look up that little loincloth and I said, "Where's the beef?" And he threw down Bane off of that cliff and said, "Here it is."
I mean, and we already know that his chamber is filled with a bunch of very large, pointy, phallic objects that he throws down upon us.
Yeah, it's true.
I just want to say,
Lots of chains.
This is a man who knows what he's doing. You figure my man Bane got fucked by this boy for maybe, 10, 15 minutes? He came back, and what did he need to do? He sat down for the rest of the expansion. He said, "Ugh, he did me too good. I can't get up."
I mean, Anduin is still dealing with the trauma of being dominated by this man.
Exactly. He is a forceful and powerful and skilled lover.
Dom top energy here.
Maybe that's why he wasn't a very good villain. Was they were like, what are you doing with your plan? He was like, "Plan? I was mastering the sexual arts during all my prep time. Shit."
He was a master. He had us all playing with his Dami gems, you know? He had a lot going on. Shards? They're shards.
Yeah, it was the Dami gear that we had.
Ooh, put on your Dami gear. That really gets my chest hole going.
Okay, Kubla.
So I'm going to be posting a picture. I don't know. It looks a little jank here, but it's Zovi as the Arbiter, and I do appreciate that this artist was like. So he has the Arbiter gear, but he also has rock hard abs.
he looks so uncomfortable in all these clothes. You can tell he wants to just rip them all off and go live in the mall.
You know, the abs are actually part of how he would arbiter. He'd be like, like he's like, okay, there's where are we gonna send you? And then it's like eeny meeny miny mo as he's counting on his abs, and then he's like, which covenant will you be sent to? Eeny meeny miny Revendreth.
If you didn't appreciate the beautiful sweat gleaming down his abs, he would send you to Maldraxxus and turn you into like the right arm of an abomination.
Don't fuck with a Zozo. All right, so well, that's why you're sexiest NPC of the week.
Again,
It's so fucking random.
I guess halftime.
halftime, chance time.
And this is your grandmother. I apologize so much. I sent you pictures. I pushed your name by mistake. I meant to send it to my friend Brian Allen. Please delete that picture from your group. Please, Grandma, baby. Grandma, when I looked up at my thing and I seen that, I felt so bad. I was sending it to Brian Allen.
And we're back from our halftime entertainment. And I must say, I did make the mistake of going down into the comments of Slidewhistle's GameSpot trailers version of the Shadow and Fury cinematic. I don't mean to dogpile on these people, but I feel like people who were not familiar with the game got duped, unfortunately. We start with my man Oz2762 said, man, Blizzard used to make the best trailers. Things have definitely changed. And someone goes, what changed? And it's like, it's not good graphics anymore.
It's not even like a trailer. It's stupid.
Well,
also,
yeah,
like,
and
for the
then
record, the graphics are pretty good, I feel like, for being, like, in-game based, right?
Well, that's something that escaped people like Level 9 Drow 856 who said, what happened to Blizzard in Warcraft? Used to be so badass, now it's so weak. Remember the Worlds of Draenor, which, by the way, Dreinor, that's all I need to hear. Cinematic, the Deathwing cinematic, the Lich King cinematic. Remember Illidan with an E. Sargeras, Arthas, and Grom? Blizzard lost their edge. So yeah, I hate to say, we've been gone for so long that people now assume that this is like the graphics. No, baby children.
No, and this isn't
this
even
is
like
what
the
they can
official.
do.
This isn't even like the official trailer for War Within. Like, I feel like the official cinematic for War Within was the one like that they showed with like Anduin and Thrall, like in the desert of Silithus, where like that legitimately looked like they were the seed. Like, it was so well made that it looked like it was actual people.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, I remember being there at BlizzCon being like, what is this? Like, live action actors, huh? That's what they can do now. Honey bunches, people in the YouTube comments, this is what they can do in the game. These are happening now.
No, and it's crazy. Like, they, like, it still like baffles me that like at the end of the cinematic, which I just watched again during the halftime with Sound Eye, and I just want to say that like, it really did add to it. Xalot's
much better than us doing Magni jokes.
But like Xalot's voice is like, first off, it's intimidating, but it's pretty hot too. And then like her smirk at the end, I'm like, oh my god.
But anyways, let's jump from the fire into the pot of cold water outside, or at least the story that I read. I want to talk about the various short stories.
Well, I say let's start with the Gazlo one, I suppose.
Yes, so in preparation for today's episode, thinking that the well was running a little dry, the bucket wasn't coming up with as much water, I was elected to read The Goblin Way by Andrew Robinson, which is a story about Gazlo, who is now if everyone hasn't been paying attention, he's the leader of the goblins, the trade prince of the Bilgewater Cartel.
Yeah, our boy Monty over here.
Yeah, little Monty Gazlo, which is
that
the
first
time.
reveal of his actual first name?
I feel like I didn't know. Well, you know what? I don't know.
I guess I thought Gazlo was his first name, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, like I know Gallywix was Jaster Gallywix, but I just thought he was funny like that. But so I read the story, and I apologize. You should go read The Goblin Way by Andrew Robinson, if only because, well, it's very long, and it deserves much more of the analysis than what I'm going to give it. Essentially, all it is he's talking to, I'm trying to find his first name here, but Noggenfogger.
Marin Noggenfogger. Everyone knows him as Noggenfogger, though.
Marin Noggenfogger, who the only time I've seen this guy he's the guy you talk to for the Goblin Heritage Armor quest.
People love Noggenfogger. Horde people love the Noggin Man. He makes an elixir called Noggenfogger's Elixir that I think turns you into a skeleton. He's pretty big, like, over in whatever the fuck the Horde do.
Yeah, so Horde guys, there you go. You're already reading the story to begin with, but Noggenfogger's in it, so go ahead. But Gazlo comes to him and he was like, I'm gonna reinvent the goblins because no one likes us. It's like, what do you mean? We're all about money. We're about mechanics. It's like, no, listen, I talk to people. No one trusts us and no one likes us. And it's like, what? So the whole thing is PR. I hate to say, I could tell you what happens in the story. It doesn't matter. What it is it's a PR story to be like, the goblins are part of the Horde Council now. We're not like +1 merchant guys anymore. A lot of players were embarrassed to say they play a goblin. So we're going to try and get our act together and, like, be nice. There's a whole part where it's like Noggenfogger's production crew has like 4 guys get hurt. And he's like, why'd they get hurt? And it's like, because we're all about money. If one gets hurt, we just replace them. It's like, no, that's not what we do anymore because we are humans and not NPCs. We're not humans, you know, we're civilized, quotes. So the entire thing is just a PR statement to say
that goblins aren't that bad.
Yeah, the goblins should be respected. They're not that bad. At one point, I think he willingly works with like a gnome. And it's like, what do you mean, the alliance? It's like, it's all about working together now. It's just basically, if you play a goblin, don't be embarrassed to do so anymore.
Yeah, basically, it was like one big OSHA violation was happening at the Noggenfogger operation. Do you think he tried to kill Gazlo at the beginning? Was that an intentional? So like Gazlo was leaning on like a fence, and the fence fell, and then like his like big bodyguard saved him from falling, and he was like, "I'm not dying that easy, Noggenfogger," and he was like, "Oh." Was that an assassination attempt?
I think it was to show like, oh, those goblins, they're so tricksy and underhanded, just for Gazlo to go and, I hate to use the phrase, but like virtue signal him and be like, no, we're not like that. Stop that. Like, it's really just Gazlo being like, I know there's a lot of jokes and like the goblins are supposed to be these vile weirdos, but we're not anymore. We're sanitized because we're part of the horde.
We don't need to prank my dad anymore.
Stop pranking my dad, please. You send him to an early grave with all your pranks, Noggenfogger.
It's probably a good move for the goblins, though, because they need to... I mean, they've been controlled by Galax, at least the majority of them, for so long now, and now that this big evil buffoon is gone, they got to do something with them. Because basically it seemed like the reason why this was happening was because Jaster, Gallywix, and all the other trade princes were squeezing Noggenfogger for money. So they were like, we need our cut out of this shit. They showed Gazlo fake books, because they're fucking goblins and have fake books. Just like all their like finances and shit.
My favorite part is, so a big part of going into this is like, okay, we're getting the explanation of goblins. What happened to Gallywix? And it's like, Gazlo's like, do you hear what happened to Gallywix? And then Noggenfogger's like, I don't know what happened to him. And he's like, he just ran. It was sad. It's like, okay, thanks, Andy. You didn't have to mention it if you weren't going to then give us what happened.
Wait, so in lore, I forget. He ran off? Did he like go with Sylvanas somewhere? Or, like, do we actually know?
The goblin Gazlo said he must have gone with his dark lady he loves so much, but that was it. Like, Sylvanas never mentioned him. No goblin ever mentioned him. Gallywix actually, I think, because he was problematic, and probably they were getting these early, like, sentiments of being like, goblin people don't want to talk about the fact that they play goblins. They're actively switching races because they feel ashamed.
Do you think he'll be like a raid boss or something down the line then?
No, I think they do nothing with him
gone,
ever.
Like gone.
No, I think
he's just gone forever.
Because the last time we saw him was Tazavesh, where he was at the table with the brokers of the cartel people. I think he's gonna do something. It wouldn't surprise me if Xalatath powers him up. Like, he's gonna be wanting something, and they're not just gonna leave him. Like, they can't.
He gets the lady, what's her face, to turn into a crab treatment.
Lady Ashvane or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
that really is it. If you play a goblin or you have a goblin who is in your top 5, play him now. Gazlo said you're not supposed to feel bad anymore.
Gazlo, like, he's talking about the deal he cut with Thrall when he was helping to remake Orgrimmar, or helping to... What was he doing to Orgrimmar? Fixing it? Yeah, because they are upgrading it again?
He had to remake a bunch of it, and the thing was, he was like, you know, I could have done the goblin thing and overpriced him, but I gave him a price. And he wasn't mad. He said he was going to pay it. So you know what I did? I made it for less. And everyone's like, it's like, yeah, goblins aren't greedy guys, as he like directly looked the reader in the eyes. I know that was the lore for like a long time, but that's not what we're doing anymore.
Yeah, it was like we need to get respect from people, so this will make Thrall respect me by cutting my deal down, because nobody ever expects a goblin to offer less.
So basically, this was like you're playing WWE 2K in GM mode, and you need some more faces, so you like cut a promo to turn the goblin's face.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happened. So,
There you go. You can read the story if you want, but Immune summed it up. The goblins are face now.
Well, if we're ready to move on to the Anduin short story.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've spent 3 times as long as I expected to spend on the Goblin Way.
First off, I want to say that like this is like one of my favorite short stories I've read. It's called The Calling.
Damn, I guess I should read it then. I got stuck with the stinky one.
No, I highly recommend like listeners and you guys to read this at some point. It's called The Calling, and it's written by Christy Golden, so you know it's gonna be good. And also, like, is this like one of the last things that like she like did probably?
Probably.
Which is really sad because like I still am mad that like they didn't continue having her on the team. I just don't get it. And this entire story, like, I just don't understand, like, why they would get rid of her. But anyways, it follows Anduin, obviously. And it basically, the overarching story is him dealing with the PTSD of being dominated by the jailer. And him dealing with the grief and confusion of all the horrible things he did when he was dominated. And dealing with, like throughout the entire thing, he has, like, he wakes up in like a cold sweat and like feels like he's suffocating because he keeps remembering the things that he was forced to do, basically. And right off the bat, it starts off with him on a ship to Coltiris to like, because I guess he's just traveling, and he basically said to himself, he's like, he used to love traveling just to like explore and learn about new places, and now traveling is just him escaping, trying to, whenever he feels like his grief and things are like closing in on him, he's like, I just need to go somewhere else. So he's on the way to Coltiris, and he ends up in Stormsong Valley, and he decides to work at a grain mill. Is that what they're
Why
called?
is he always taking these weird, just regular citizen jobs, doing weird stuff?
Well, basically, he said that he wanted to find a job that was just physical labor, where he could just not have to talk with many people and just like be to himself and be busy, so that these thoughts would stop haunting him, basically. And he encounters a Coltiran named Roderick Felden, who was a veteran of the Fourth War.
Damn, weren't we all?
Right, exactly.
Who wasn't?
No, so that's the thing. I'm like, wait, so like this got me thinking, like, so in like lore, like how old are most veterans of the Fourth War?
I mean, that shit happened like 3 years ago.
We did have a time skip before Dragonflight, right?
Well, so 4 years ago.
So
yeah,
like
because
that's
the time skip was 3 years. So yeah, like the guy who works at the weapon shop was a veteran of the Fourth War. That only happened a couple years ago, guy.
Yeah, so like basically Roderick was like not even a warrior or anything. Basically went into this little bit of backstory about how like he was like drafted when they ran out of soldiers and needed to start recruiting farmers. So like basically, okay, I thought it was interesting because like in the story, Anduin never reveals that he's Anduin. Again, he calls himself Jarek, and then like it's really cheeky. Christie's like, which is a name that Anduin has used in the past. Which I'm like, we know, because isn't that the name that he used when he put a little like dirt on his face and went to the inn?
I was just about to say, he put some schmutz in his hair and he tried to hit on Jaina.
No, exactly. So it was a reference to that, which I thought was really funny. So basically, yeah, he bonds with Roderick over PTSD. Like, it takes a while for him to open up at all to Roderick, but eventually Roderick basically just comes out and says to him, he's like, I know you're struggling. Anduin basically half lies and says that he was also a veteran of the Fourth War, which like technically he was, right? Because like as Aaron said, we all are. But I guess it was just easier to, because Anduin didn't want to like disclose anything really. Basically, he's just struggling with all this PTSD. Roderick gives him a letter and says like, here are things that I learned when I was dealing with PTSD and things that helped me. Also during this story, Anduin is like befriending a fox.
A
randomly.
fox? Like an animal? Or like a sexy lady?
No, like an animal. Like, I guess Anduin continues the path of multi-classing. I guess he's a BM hunter now, kind of, as well.
Okay.
So he says he's not going to name this because he doesn't want to get attached to it, but like he very obviously is getting attached to this fox. and the fox trusts him because like Roderick basically was like, there's this fox that's hanging around here, set up some traps so that it doesn't like come and like fuck with your work at the grain mill here. But instead Anduin's like, no, I'm gonna feed it and we're gonna become friends. So basically then what happens is that like Roderick invites Anduin to like become closer with him and his wife Vera and their kids, and invites them to an autumn festival in one of the towns of Stormsong Valley. Anduin is like, maybe, but they both knew that meant no, because like Anduin doesn't want to have to interact with people. But then when he's working one day, he sees and smells smoke coming from the nearby town, and he panics, and he's like, my friends are in danger. He acknowledges that like Roderick is actually a friend to him now, and he quickly hops on a horse and is like, I need to help these people. And he charges towards them and gets concussed on the way and sees that the village is being raided. It's being set on fire. There is a bunch of chaos, and when he eventually comes to enough to go and help, he sees that Roderick is perishing in the fire as he was trying to help all survivors out.
Jeez, he's being burned alive? Like he's like just like screaming in agony in this fire, is what you're saying?
Well, a little bit of backstory. Roderick was missing a leg from the war, so like he was hobbling out as he was helping like this pregnant woman and her daughter out of the flames, so he saved them, but then he like
Christy.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so then he falls over and Anduin gets over.
She was like, I'm gonna show you how good I can write because you're shit canning me in like 2 days.
Tearing up when I was reading this. So then like Anduin somehow half concussed makes his way over there and drags Roderick somewhat out of the fire. And in that moment, Anduin is like, I'm sorry, I can't help you, because he feels that the light won't help him. Later revealed that Anduin feels guilty that he didn't even ask the light to help him because he felt like the light wouldn't respond to him for his sins.
Yeah, I was about to say, do we know, like, is it like a Thrall thing where, like, if Thrall's like, water, wash my feet, they literally won't? Do we know, has he tried to call upon the light and it's failed? Or just he feels so bad that he
honestly
can't
feels like he's
do it?
undeserving of the light, because later he basically says he doesn't even want to be around people who are able to embrace the light. Like he feels so.
That's got to be tough. You figure between priests and paladins, they're everywhere.
Exactly. Like there's like a celebration at some point when he was invited to, and he's like, no, I can't go to that because there are going to be like priests celebrating or something. He's like, okay, well, anyways, Roderick perishes. Anduin doesn't try to call upon the light to help him. Basically in Roderick's dying breaths, he's like, take care of my family.
Die.
So then Jarek, aka Anduin, brings Roderick's dead body back to this family and like becomes closer with them, and they bond, and like over the next like third of the story, like Anduin slowly reveals part of his history to relate to them, because the young daughter of the family was really not dealing well with the fact that her father died, and then Anduin was like, well, let her express this. Anduin's like, my mom died when I was her age, basically. My dad also then was like taken away and came back and was never the same, and then died anyway. So basically Anduin's like, let her express that. And then so yeah, Anduin gets closer to the family, starts sharing a little bit about himself with them, and they become close, and Anduin explains that like his grief and his anxiety is slowly
does he
fading away,
wife?
but and also during all this time, like he and the fox are like besties now, like to the point where like the fox sleeps in bed with him.
Oh. Gen is like nudging his daughter. I mean, like, see, he's into little creatures. If only you had taken the Worgen curse, that could have been you.
Oh, I only mentioned this because then later on in the story, the fox wakes him up in the middle of his slumber, and the fox is like points to the window. He's like, "Look, Anduin," and then like Anduin looks out and sees there's fires coming from the town again. So Anduin rushes to the town, and Anduin's like, "I'm not gonna fail people this time." So he retrieves Charlemagne, which he also at the beginning of the story acknowledges that like all of at some point he just buried all of his armor and stuff because he didn't want to be involved with it, but he gathers Charlemagne and goes to town, and then basically goes into this frenzy state where he doesn't really acknowledge what's happening, but he basically slices up every single raider in the town and murders them all.
Okay, what the fuck?
As he's killing the last raider, he hears a voice calling to him by name, Anduin.
Andy, baby, it's me, the voice.
And he believes that at first he thinks it might be the light calling him, and then he, in his mind, says, no, I don't want to. He basically is like, light, stop calling me. He's like, no, these people need me. I don't want to embrace the light right now. And then, as he's slaying the last raider, the young daughter calls out to him and like holds on to him. She's like, Jarek, it's over. And he, in this moment, is so panicked because he's worried that he is like one step away from going into one of these frenzy state and killing people that he cares about again. So like that's a whole another level of PTSD that he's been dealing with. But basically her calling to Jarek, him or whatever, pulls him out of this state, and he's partially relieved that Charlemagne isn't glowing blue like it was in the Shadowlands.
I thought you were gonna say he was gonna gut this girl. It's like, Jesus, Christy.
No, but he said he was like, Cinda, why are you endangering yourself in this way? I could have hurt you. And she's like, I knew you wouldn't.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So like as I was reading this, I was worried that he was gonna hurt someone.
Especially after he stole my man's wife. after he became Mr. Steal Your Girl.
But basically then after this, okay, so the family had a son too, and basically it's implied that like he recognized Charlemagne, and like in that moment they all realized who he actually was.
Also, I refuse to believe that Anduin's I'm gonna put schmutz in my hair and take a fake name shit. It doesn't work and everyone's very nice to him, or these people, I guess it is medieval society, no one knows what Anduin looks like. They go around and be like, remember when our king was Varian? Yep. It's a different guy now.
I guess he has drastically changed over the years, like in appearance and age.
Oh yeah, I guess he has a beard and he doesn't have cute hair anymore.
And he's just like angry and like off-putting in general.
I guess yeah, he's frowning and he's sad. It's like, no king of the Alliance would ever frown. What a great, beautiful place you rule over.
But then, yeah, the story basically ends with Anduin finally like reading the letter that Roderick wrote to him with advice, and realizes that he can't stay here. The daughter begs him to stay, and she's like, I have to go. I have to basically Anduin's like, I need to figure out where these voices are coming from, and I can't like live a life here. But he leaves the fox with the daughter and say like, I need to go. They give him pastries on the way out, and then he leaves.
I hope that's referenced in game. Like you meet up with him and he's like, do you want a cookie? I know they were a little stale, but they were given to me by some very nice people. And then it's like the secret raid achievement. You have to hold on to Anduin's cookies, and then use them in the last boss of TWW.
Andy's cookies saved the day.
Also, he canonically named that fox just Fox, I think.
What the hell, Anduin?
Because Roderick said don't name it.
He's like, it's technically not named.
Then, like, at the end of the story, Anduin basically is like, he's like, I effectively did name the fox, and I did grow attached to him.
We see Fox soon.
Honestly, I want to see Fox. I want to see all these people in game at some point.
I hope Fox becomes the next king of the Alliance. After Anduin gives it up, we'll be led by a real leader, a real uniter, a small fox, for like 6 years, and then it'll die.
There's got to be a bunch of tie-ins happening, because I forgot to mention this. One of the first quests I did in the War Within when I got out as an Earthen was to go to Gadgetzan, and there's the warband banking stuff starts there, which is the city that Noggenpogger's from, right? And
Gazlo created. He was like the mayor of it for all of history until he became high. I was about to say high tinker, but that's the better mechanical race.
Keep your eyes peeled for Fox and a one-legged burnt corpse.
I love Roderick so much. Here he is. Ugh, he stinks. Why do you have this man's corpse with you? I went through a lot, okay?
It's also funny, the beekeepers were mentioned in this story.
We were both saved by such a big, strong man, Barry the beekeeper. He didn't say anything to me, but he did a little wiggle dance, and I knew I'd be all right. Speaking of being all right, you guys have had enough content, you silly fucking fools. We gotta end this. I'm getting tired. I gotta go take a sleep.
Sleep.
So we're going to head into our top toot, bottom boot, medium moot. Immunization. Tell me.
Well, let's see here. My top toot it is twofold. First off, I will say my shoot of last week's June trading post review was highly warranted. The water gun, love it. First off, it does shoot water.
Yay.
Second off, the reload animation is just like pumping, like
Yay!
So yeah, amazing, love it. In addition to that, my second part of this top two is I finally got Keystone Master, which apparently I didn't have.
Congrats.
Ooh, yay! That's fun.
I didn't realize that I didn't
I was about
have
to
it.
be like, I'm jealous, but I'll get it eventually because we have a long wait.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't even realize that I hadn't had it, so I guess there you go.
What, you were short like 20 points, 10 points?
I mean, I think going into this week, I was like on my priest at like 1800 and my hunter like 17 something, and then we just ran a few keys that I just didn't have anything on at all, and then I got my Keystone Master on my hunter, so I was like, okay, I guess I was close. But Slidewhistle, what do you have?
I got a medium moot.
Medium.
I really overestimated how many traders tendies I had and how many I would be gathering. I'm not gonna have enough to buy everything. And it's so frustrating. I need to buy tendies.
I don't have fucking anything. I bought the hoverboard and I bought the full set of like the bikini set, and that's
right.
it. I have 15 tenders remaining. So I was like,
I was also like, I can't buy everything. So I froze the surfboard. I'm like, I don't know, because I want some of these summer sets, but I'm like, this is crazy.
Like, I'd love to buy the uncle set. I literally can't. And I can't because there is no full uncle set. Once again, they only sell it to you piecemeal. So I'm like, this is my FOMO. Like, the best I can do is freeze the Murloc inflatable and be like, one day, maybe. 100 years from now.
I almost wish I wouldn't have bought the surfboard because I should have bought all the clothes first. Because that's what I want. I want the clothes. Those are gonna go more of a long way than the fucking surfboard. So I bought the blue summer set that you had to buy individually. Very annoying. But I also wanted the body 2 image to have that sweet bikini thigh meat. Weird net thing going on in the back, so I bought one of those, and I'm like, fuck, I want the fire sword and the fire shield. I want the regular fucking sets, like the yellow ensembles. Why did I buy the fucking surfboard for? God damn it.
I mean, it is cool.
It is super cool. The color is great. I had to put it on my bars to use it, so I get some use out of this thing. But yeah, any more tendies, Maybe Blizzard should make another bundle. Put it in the store. Put it with the mount. Maybe I'll buy it. Give me more tendies. What about you, Aaron? TT, BB, MM.
Well, I have a BB, a bottom boot. I'm
Bottom
afraid.
Boots.
The get up and go, excited to log in every day aspect of Pandaria Remix is, I'm afraid, starting to wane.
Boo.
On Overwatch, I log in and I do my dailies, but I guess there is something to be said of, like, trying harder to get into actual heroic and mythic raids and things like that. But I'm like, they keep denying me, and I don't super care that much, so I do what I do to get my bronze, but even the mounts are running out. So I guess I move on to clothes, but once I get to clothes, which there is a fair amount of clothes, there will still be 70 days of content to get through, but it's feeling less exploratory and more like work.
Yeah.
Overwatch gets played. Anil War gets played a little bit. I created a plate character named Hitilda. logged into her, played for about an hour and a half, and I was like, that's enough of that one.
Yeah, I don't know how some of our guildies are doing like the full circuit of all the raid clears every day. I'm like, y'all are crazy. That's like several hours. I'm like, I just want to like log in and like, I'm lucky if I do a scenario, and I'm lucky if I do a random queue dungeon. I'm like also like to that point where I'm just like doing a few dailies just to scrounge up some bronze.
What's great is that, I mean, there's 70 days, so you can, come back in a month, come back in 2 months, so we'll be there.
That's true. We certainly have time to piss away, and this is definitely. We talked about World of Warcraft. We wildly got a full jam-packed episode out of what we got, but I'll say it's definitely wandering eyeball time for a little bit here until they give me something extra to really sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
And yet, they've been doing a good job every week, so I'm sure we'll be back next week with another 80 minutes of content.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that'll be easy. It's just the Pandaria. I was going hard in Pandaria, and, I started playing Super Mario RPG, and that game's fantastic. I beat it.
The Super Mario RPG, like the new one?
Yeah, like the remake?
Yeah, I have
So
fun.
good.
5 hours
I
from
already
now, it'll
beat
be
it.
over.
Yeah, it's already done.
I was about to say, yeah, it's already done. I like that game a lot, but it sure was 6 hours of content.
Yeah, it was real short. I was like, oh my god, I beat a game? Oh, it's really short. Okay.
Speaking of really short, that is the opposite of the list I'm going to tell you about, which are our gracious patrons. We're talking about Ahoy Vince, NSYNC / Drag Race, Azaroon, Digital Dave, asking Growlina to say, for the Horde. Mitch wants to remind everyone that Rathian isn't daddy, he's a literal child. Crucifix, Harrison Hawk, Chris M, Kick Puncher, Jerome, Drew, the 760 Rusto Druid, Adorno. Losing the Patient, Gershi Super Squirt Day, Calcus looking forward to Panda Express hijinks, Huzzah, Johnny's Friday is saved, Wooly, Slidewhistle Secret Stalker, Teehee, Adam N. Vanderlyle, and Will, aka Tyre, Trade Chat's fallen father.
Don't forget to submit your Pride Mountain Adventure picture.
Yes. Your Proud Mountain set.
Send it off to donotrelenttpod@gmail.com. Join our Discord at donotrelent.com. Tweet at us. Post it on Instagram. Wherever you feel like it. Shout it into the void. Yeah, what about you guys? Where can they find you on the internet?
Well, you see, you can find me, Alex, or Immunization on Twitter at NewEraAlex, or on Blue Sky at Immunization.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at the Bigacheesy on Twitters.com, and watch me play videograms at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. I'll try and do something fun this weekend, but I'm going to a ding-dang wedding, so guess what? Neener, I'll be too busy.
You should get really drunk at that wedding.
No! I don't even know if there will be booze there. It's a Wesleyan wedding, which was a religious denomination I didn't even know about until I was told I would be at a Wesleyan wedding.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully you'll be able to slam a shot and say...
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.